And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do a teaser trailer. Oh my gosh.
Welcome.
Welcome. The fucking show.
The show.
The Flix Capacitor podcast.
This is a podcast. My name is Parker McNerney, and I'm a guy. I'm a human guy, and I'm ready to talk movies with my co-host,
Brown McCloskey, who is also a guy, a human guy.
Prove it. Show it to us. Whip it out.
Sorry, no, my MacBook camera doesn't zoom in that far.
That's good. Welcome. What are we talking today, bro? What are we talking today?
Okay. We're talking my most, and I've said this over and over again, and we are now dedicating an entire episode to talk about it. So I am so fucking excited. I'm so fucking excited. It is my most anticipated movie of the year, and that is Alien Romulus. We are talking about the teaser trailer we got. Let's fucking do this. Parker, what were your initial thoughts when you first saw the trailer?
All right, so I'll say this before I get into that. I'll say this.
Go ahead.
I'm not as big an Alien fan as you are. I
Right,
really
I know
like
that.
it,
I know that.
but I've only seen Alien and Aliens once each. That's it.
And honestly, that's kind of those are kind of the only ones you need to watch.
I'm not gonna fuck with the other ones. I don't care. I don't. I know that it's like a lot of like what other franchise? There's another franchise where I feel like that. It's like I just don't care. I don't care enough to get through all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they're not good, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, of course. No.
I'm a casual Alien fan, and so you said the trailer was coming out. I was like, cool, that's great. What I was most excited for was, is it Fede?
I've heard Fede.
Mr. Alvarez.
Mr. Alvarez.
When I found out he was directing, I was like, okay, all right, that's exciting because I liked Don't Breathe. I gave it like a 7, and then I love his Evil Dead remake.
Yeah,
I love the Evil Dead remake.
I love both of those movies.
Yeah, Don't Breathe was I'd probably like it even more the second time I watched it, but it's he does stress really well.
Absolutely, he does the claustrophobia.
Yeah,
suspense, tension,
suspense. Yeah,
very well.
And Alien is all about suspense and tension and scary, right?
And being trapped in this confined space with the most horrifying creature in the galaxy, you know.
But also story. That is something that people can't forget. You know, Don't Breathe and Evil Dead both have stories. They have good stories.
Yeah,
not and just shit going down.
And that's one thing that I have to give to the Evil Dead reboot. Which, I mean, obviously, it is a better made movie than the original because the original is
higher budget.
It's like a student film where they spent half their budget on weed and were high half the time that they were making the movie, which I would give to be on that set. But
oh my god, just to be a fly on the wall, dude.
Oh, seriously. So one thing I have to give the Evil Dead though, the 2013 Evil Dead reboot is the story of it, you know, the characters, rather than it being just two couples just kind of taking a little getaway in a cabin in the woods. No, they are taking their friend, you know, and their sister to a cabin to help her with her addiction, you know, because she's going to be battling withdrawals. And a lot of people say if you watch the movie as a metaphor for withdrawals, it makes it like 10 times better.
Yeah.
Which I totally agree.
Yeah, 100%. And he works with actors really well because I didn't know anybody from the Evil Dead movie. I as soon as it started, I was like, oh, fuck, dude. B movie, B actors. I was so wrong. I mean, they aren't the most incredible actors. They aren't, you know, whoever, but they're good. And he brought good performances out of them. Same with Don't Breathe. And I think those are the only two movies I've seen from him. Has he done anything else that's big?
I'll double check. I think those two are definitely his two biggest movies.
Did he do the second Don't Breathe?
He produced it. He was a
He
producer,
produced it.
but
Gotcha.
he did
Gotcha.
not. Um, so he has. So the Evil Dead reboot is his first feature film.
Wow.
He had done only shorts before that in the early
Wow.
2000s. Uh,
Wow.
and then he followed that up with he did a couple of TV episodes, and then he did Don't Breathe in 2016, and then in 2018, which was his last feature film, was The Girl in the Spider's Web in 2018, which I have not seen.
I've never even heard of that. I don't
I
think.
think it is a follow up to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which
Ah,
I also have not
cool.
seen.
Cool. White Lady books. So I am okay. So you asked me what were my initial thoughts. So
Yeah.
my initial thoughts were cool. If he wasn't doing it, I don't think I'd give a shit. Like
Okay.
pre-watching this trailer or
Okay.
teaser, whatever. Like
Okay.
just the idea, I was like, oh, another Alien movie. I've only seen, whatever. I've only heard bad things about the ones I haven't seen. There's a new one coming out. Who cares? So I'm stoked that he's doing it, and then I see you sent me the trailer or the teaser. I'm like, okay, what? I'll watch it. Um, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And we can kind of go through it, but like,
I definitely want to take some time to dissect it.
yeah,
The trailer is like just under a minute. I think it's
yeah,
like, yeah, so we'll definitely dissect it. We'll go
yeah,
through, talk about each um well, let me ask you this, cuz you've only seen the first two movies. Now obviously I know how you came to Aliens, because that we did a whole episode on it. That was a movie that I showed you, and then I think I watched The Social Network
yep.
on that episode where we talked Aliens and then Social Network. But for the first Alien movie, how did you come to that movie?
I mean, I've obviously always known about it.
Right, it's a
It's a
classic.
super, yeah. It's iconic. It's pop culture. It's very important. And so it was summer of 2020, which is when I really started to fall in love with movies. I'd always loved movies, but I've talked about it on the podcast. Summer of 2020, during COVID when everything was shut down,
And lockdown and
I got into movies. That was my escape. And I was like, I've never seen Alien, and I think I watched it with my mom down here. We have like a screen with like a projector.
oh, nice.
So I got to watch it like a mini theater, which is super super cool, and I loved it. I thought it was awesome. It was pre Letterboxd for me. Like it was pre me using Letterboxd regularly, so I don't remember what I rate it because I need to watch it again. I've only seen it once, like I said. But I thought it
Mhm.
was sick. It lived up to the hype for sure. It was different than I thought it was going to be, but in a good way. And
Okay.
then Sigourney Weaver is fucking incredible.
Oh,
Always,
absolutely, absolutely.
always incredible.
And one thing I absolutely love about the first Alien is that it's not, you look at a movie like Halloween. The
Yeah,
movie centers around Laurie Strode. You look at
sure.
Scream. The movie centers around Sidney Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
The movie does not center around Ripley in the first movie. In the first movie, it does not center around Ripley. Honestly, she's kind of there for the first like
She's
20, 30
supporting.
minutes of the movie.
She's supporting for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you went into Alien completely blind, not knowing that this was a Sigourney Weaver led franchise,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing anything about Ripley, the character of Ellen Ripley, if you went into the movie Alien knowing absolutely nothing, you would not think that Ellen would be, or that Ripley would be the final girl. The
Yeah,
the hero of the movie.
yeah,
Uh, and I love that they did that, not only for the surprise of it, but also all of the characters in the movie have equal importance. You know, sure, some characters die sooner than others, so technically they're not on screen for as much time.
yeah.
But but the time that they are on screen, like Kane, for example, Kane is the first one to go, and it's, I mean, okay, well, obviously Kane, his everyone remembers him because that's a John Hurt's character,
Mm-hmm.
the chestburster guy, the guy
Yeah.
that has the chestburster at the dinner table.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, everyone is going to remember him. Everyone is going to
Mm-hmm.
remember that character specifically for that scene. But even before that,
Mm-hmm.
he's the first one that wakes up in the movie.
Yeah.
He is he's a character. He's the first one to volunteer, which
Mm-hmm.
obviously is a foreshadow for his demise. But the fact that
Spoilers if you haven't seen
yeah,
it.
but the fact that we're already getting to know every single character equally,
Mhm. Mhm.
and
Yep.
that's what I think is a huge standout for the movie.
And it looks like we're potentially going to get that in this new one.
Oh, I hope so.
From
Oh, I
just
hope so.
obviously that's an assumption. But I'm just from what it looks like, and it looks like there's a final girl, and she seems sick.
So there are two actresses that are in this movie that are the potential final girls, and I have no idea which one it is, and I don't want to know. And I pray that the trailers, like in all honesty, I would be okay if we did not get another trailer.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I'd prefer not getting another trailer. Now you're probably sitting here listening thinking, well, why don't you just not watch the next trailer?
It's hard.
It's really hard, especially when you're like us, and if you're listening to this podcast, you are like us, where half of your social media feed is movies. There's no
Yeah,
avoiding it sometimes.
it's trailers are everywhere. No
Even
matter
like
what.
snippets and screen grabs and stuff.
Oh yeah. It's and then once you see like a screenshot or whatever, you're like, ah, fuck. Now I need to watch it, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
No, dude. Let's just dig into the trailer
Okay.
because that opening shot when it's just going through like the hallways or whatever,
Yeah.
the corridors,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, and it says, Fede Alvarez, Evil Dead, Don't Breathe, whatever, and then
And
it's
then
fading
produced
out,
by Ridley Scott.
which is awesome. I wonder how much involvement he had because like
None.
Spielberg produced, you know what I mean? Like it's like
He didn't have any involvement, and the only reason I know that is because he watched it when it was done
oh
and went into it like knowing nothing, and he loved it. That's another thing that I wanted to say, I guess, before we, well, maybe I'll save it for the end.
yeah
Should we
yeah
just keep going with the trailer?
yeah.
Okay.
So we're panning out, or we're not panning out. We're kind of following through the hallways,
Through the
and then
corridors, yeah.
and then it slowly pans, and you see a fuck ton of blood.
In one of those like cryogenic pods.
Yes, and that's when I went, oh, okay, I'm in. I'm
Instantly.
in.
I
I'm
was
in.
in I was in the moment we saw that corridor, because that was when I knew that we were going back to the roots of the original Alien.
Ugh.
Um
And it's not a remake, right?
no, 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 no. It's not a remake. I heard I was listening to some other people break down the trailer earlier today.
Mhm.
Uh apparently uh it takes place, I think they said 20 years after Alien, and then
Okay.
37 years before Aliens.
Oh shit.
So it's
Okay.
that bridge. It's that
That's
bridge between the two
very
movies.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get a Sigourney cameo somehow?
She's asleep.
We don't know where the end of the movie ends. You never know. Can you
What?
imagine?
Well, I know this.
Imagine like the end is like the first scene from Aliens. You know what I mean?
That
Like they
would
do
be
with the
super
thing.
cool.
It'd be
Like a
super
time
cool.
jump, like a 37-year
Oh,
time
it'd be
jump.
so cool. And,
Uh,
yeah, like dude, I'm looking at the screenshot right now. There's so much blood. It looks. Oh
yeah,
god, it looks.
and it makes you wonder, like, oh, was someone in a cryogenic pod and like a chest burster? Like, they didn't know that they were infected, or they didn't know that they had the alien in them, the embryo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Dude, and then it immediately goes to that shot of the facehuggers chasing that guy.
And there's like 50 of them.
Oh my
Dude,
god, dude, so scary.
so I screen recorded the trailer, right?
Sure.
Because I went through and I dissected, and I was like zooming in on spots and like slowing it down. There's at least 15.
Wow.
There's at least 15 facehuggers like plowing through that door. Could you, like, that's the fucking type of,
Breaking the glass, dude. They're breaking the
yeah.
glass.
That is the
Holy
type of
shit.
terror and suspense a movie like this needs.
Ugh.
Like just
Ugh.
imagine those things scurrying at you. It's oh my gosh.
And then we see some shots of the characters.
See some
And then
shots
there's
of the
that
characters.
one of them, I assume, pulling a facehugger off of the guy, and like the shit coming out of it.
Okay, so I do want to get to that. I want to talk
Okay.
about that because because I believe at the end of the trailer there's a shot of let me get her name. There is a shot of Eileen Wu, the actress. I don't know. There's no character names announced, so I don't know any character names. So we're just going to refer to actress names. Eileen Wu. She's the
Woo!
Asian with the buzz cut
Cool.
in the trailer. She's in a few different shots of the movie. There's a shot of her like uh, pacing down a corridor, it looks
Yep.
like she's trying to get away from something. I think she's even limping in
Yeah.
it, so that could mean anything. She is the one at the end of the trailer that gets the face hugger latched onto her. That last
Okay.
shot before
Okay.
we get to the wrap up of the trailer, you know, when
Gotcha.
she turns around and the face hugger's right there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
So going back and when I was rewatching the trailer and like getting, watching it in slow motion, I think that's her when they're getting the face hugger off.
Taking the shit off of her. Okay.
I think that's her. I
All
think.
right.
So it begs the question, is this going to be, are we finally going to see what happens when you try to take a face hugger off of someone? Because in the original Alien, when they tried to take it off Kane, uh, Dallas, Tom Skerritt's character, says we can't take that thing off without taking his face off with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and here's the thing. Here's another thing. I know you haven't seen Alien Covenant,
Mm-hmm.
but in the first Alien, it takes hours for the face hugger and like from the moment the face hugger jumps onto Kane when they're in the ship to the chest burster scene at the dinner table. I think that's like roughly like 12 hours
Okay.
in movie time.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I know it's definitely a long time.
Mm-hmm.
In Alien Covenant, I know you haven't seen it. In Alien Covenant, it is a lot shorter.
Okay.
Like a lot shorter. It's
Mm-hmm.
like one scene shows the face hugger attaching to a character, and then there's another scene with other characters, and then we go back to him, and it's the chest burster scene, and it's like, what?
Gotcha.
Already?
Gotcha.
There's no build up or anything. Like it's just all right, fuck, fine. Uh, and there is a scene in the movie in Alien Covenant. There's a scene where a character gets a face hugger latched onto him,
Okay.
and he's able to get it off because
Mm-hmm.
he has one of his he has another character come in and like the other character like cuts it off of him.
Mm.
Then by the end of the movie, we see that there was actually already something like it already had laid the embryo inside of him because it doesn't show it, but we just see his dead body there with the giant
Wow.
bloody hole in his chest.
Wow.
So I hope, and I say this, with I don't know anything. There are actually some leaks that went out about this movie that were spoiler leaks, and I avoided them like crazy. So I really don't know anything, but I really really hope that we stick to the first Alien logic, where it takes a long time. That's just me personally. I just prefer it that way. I think it adds more suspense.
Mm-hmm.
So I would really like to see what happens when you try to remove a face hugger because we haven't
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah.
We've only heard of it happening. Like in Aliens, they when they show up to the colony and they see all the face huggers in the tubes,
Mm-hmm.
and Bishop starts reading the files. Oh, all these people died during removal.
Uh-huh.
So I would love to see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens. I would love to see, because we've never seen that before.
Yeah. It looks sick. It looks
It does,
so fucking good.
and it's that type of Fede Alvarez horror,
Yeah. Body
just
horror for sure.
it's and it's that's one thing that Alien is really good at doing. And I'm not just talking like gore horror, but violation horror.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like think about and sure, this was in the original Evil Dead 2, but Fede Alvarez made it way more graphic. The
Yeah.
tree scene, you know what I'm talking about? So much more graphic, and it's that it's that violation horror, which is
Yeah.
on a whole different
Non-consensual
level.
horror.
Yeah, and it's on a whole
Yeah.
different level than gore horror,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Uh, and that's what I think this movie's going to be full of that.
Yeah.
I am very excited to see how gross this movie gets,
Yeah.
but at the same time, just keeping that terror, that thrill. So that's that. Yeah, that was what I wanted to cover about that facehugger scene,
dude. And then there are a few more shots of some shit blowing up, which is exciting. And then there's
Yep.
that one shot that you were talking about where the facehugger's like, dude,
Yeah,
holy shit, holy
it's
shit, dude.
because it's terrifying because there's no reaction time.
Oh yeah, there's nothing. All the last thing you see is fucking, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
fuck that, dude. And then there's the shot of I can't tell if it's Isabella Merced or not.
No, it's at the very end. That's
It's the
Kaylee
other
Sparney.
girl.
It's
Okay,
Kaylee
it's the other
Sparney.
girl.
Yeah.
Okay, because Isabella Merced was in Madam Web. She's been in a lot of stuff. She was in one of the Transformers movies. She was in Migration, which was recent. She was in.
She played Dora in the live action Dora movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then she was in Instant Family, which is a great movie.
Haven't seen that one.
So good.
She's been in a lot of shit. So I mean, I really like her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope she survives. But
honestly, I would love to see her as the final girl.
She's really good.
Yeah.
She's really, really good. You know,
I agree.
Even in Madam Web, which is a shit show of a movie, she's good. You know what I mean?
Like she does what she can.
Yeah, she did what she was there for. She did her job. She did it well. It's just everything else that went to shit, you know? Dude, I want you to watch it so bad so we can talk about it.
Someday.
No, okay, here's what we need to do. Here's what we need to do. You need to watch Madam Web.
Okay.
And then we know how we've always talked about doing an episode together high. That's the episode. That is the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because it is so, it's laughably bad. You'll probably enjoy it because it's so bad. You know, it's not like Venom 2 where it's just like, this just sucks for no reason. You know what I mean? Madam Web is like, holy shit, this is so horrible. I love it. But back to Alien. I hope Elizabeth Merced is the final girl. I think she's great. Do we know who's scoring this movie?
Yes.
Who?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I see.
Benjamin.
Oh!
He did Blade Runner 2049.
He did the It movies. He did Invisible Man. The Flash.
He was the conductor on the Flash. I don't know if that's still the composer, but
yeah, no, he wrote the Flash music.
Okay.
Because Andy Muschietti uses him a lot. He did Shazam, which I like that score.
And is it?
Oh, he did Lights Out. Oh,
Benjamin Wallfish.
It's probably like
Wallfish.
Yeah, it's probably like Welsh or something. Damn, dude, he's done a lot of good shit. That makes me so excited for this movie. Even more excited. Damn, dude. Okay, that's exciting. Cinematographer is Galo Oliveres, who has done Gretel and Hansel, which I haven't seen, but that looked super scary. So he hasn't done a ton, but the movie looks like it's going to look really, 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 really good.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. So there's a shot in the movie of the his name is David Johnson, and he's the black guy, the black character that's in that like super tight. I will bet cash money that is the android.
Okay.
Because every Alien movie has an android. Even every single Alien movie has an android in it. And it's a big character.
You're probably right.
I will bet that is the android. Just because the way he's standing there in the trailer, the way his expression is in that shot, I will bet he's the android, and I'm not the only one that thinks so.
There are 6 people in this cast. I hope that's it. I hope it's just these 6 characters. Oh man.
Yeah. So another thing that I was able to gather from the trailer is it looks a lot like the video game Alien Isolation. And I mean that in the best way possible, because you haven't played Alien Isolation, right?
No.
Okay. I know you're not a gamer.
I'd probably still like it though.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
What is it about video games that just makes you just not a gamer? Not necessarily that you hate video games, but you're just like, I'd rather watch movies.
I like video games. I just I've never been into them. I get bored after like 30 minutes.
Okay.
Um,
Is it
I
is
just
it like the
it's so
gameplay? Like you're just
no,
fighting the whole
it
time,
doesn't
or like
matter what the game is. It's just like my attention issues are just like I'm done. You know what I mean?
okay?
I've gone like an hour before, but that's pretty much it.
Wait,
I
back
really
up. You're the most you've ever played a video game in one sitting is an hour.
probably yeah.
Dude, I have to give myself at least an hour. If I'm not like
I
if I'm playing like a story game and it's not like I'm just gonna hop onto a battle royale in Fortnite or something.
Yeah. Well, but that's what I'm saying is like I don't play a lot of story games. Like the story games I've played like are Jedi or is it which one is the
Fallen
first?
Order.
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like it. I really
Super
like
good
it.
game. Super good
Awesome.
game.
Awesome. I don't know, it's like an hour. I mean, maybe like I would say probably 2 hours is the max. It
Okay.
just depends. Like I love Lego games
Oh
because
yeah.
the levels are short. Like
Yeah.
that's my shit. Like I can finish a level in 30 minutes. I'm good. That's my video game for the week.
For the
And
week.
I have attention span issues with movies as well, but my OCD goes crazy if I don't finish a movie, so it's a lot easier for me to finish a movie than a game.
So I if you man, dude, I have played the Alien Isolation campaign probably at least 5 or 6 times.
I'd probably like it.
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing.
Is it available on Xbox?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It
I wonder if it's on
is
Game Pass.
it is slow.
Okay. Not a
It's
problem for me.
slow. For the first 30, it depends on how fast you play and how much you explore, but on average for the first 30 to 45 minutes,
Mhm.
you're kind of just walking around just trying to find your
And I
place.
like that
Just trying to
shit. Like
find
just like that's the stuff I like is
yeah.
exploring. Like in Harry Potter, the game that came out last year or
Hogwarts Legacy.
2022. Yeah, like I just loved looking around and seeing the detail.
See, and that is a perfect example because one of the biggest things that sold that game was getting to was being having the ability to explore Hogwarts on your own.
It's
Not
called
you're not limited by a
Alien.
movie. Alien
What's the movie?
Isolation
Isolation.
came out in 2014, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I think I can download it for free.
I highly recommend it. It is a lot of people didn't like it for the gameplay aspect, but if
Mhm.
the story is so good, so good, and I've always said like I would love an Alien Isolation movie. I would love
That's
an
what it
Alien
seems
Isolation,
like.
and that's what this seems like.
Yeah.
That's what this seems like.
Yeah, that's sick.
Because Alien Isolation is a space station that's very similar layout wise to the Nostromo, which is the ship in the
Gotcha.
first movie.
Yep.
So that's what I loved the most about the game was being able to explore that type of ship and interact with that type of ship. I loved it. Uh,
Gotcha.
but it's a whole space station. It's not just a ship like it is in the
Cool.
original movie.
That's very cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's a whole station that gets infected, basically.
Ooh, cool.
You
All right,
know,
yeah, I'll probably be
and
into it.
and so what I'm guessing just from the trailer,
Probably.
I'm guessing this is the rescue team or this is the response team, like they're responding to a distress call. That's what my
Mm.
guess is,
Okay.
because technically that's what the game is.
Okay.
Is they show up to the station isn't responding, they board, and then they very quickly find out that the whole station is infested with face
Yep.
huggers and aliens, and
Cool.
so good. Uh, so
So,
a little, I think that covers the big stuff in the trailer.
yeah, I'm pretty much done. So whatever you have to
Yeah.
say, you go ahead.
Yeah, so I definitely want to talk a little bit about Fede Alvarez, just a
Cool.
little bit,
Cool.
because I watched an interview with him where he actually was featured on a podcast, and I was watching it, and it didn't make me mad, but I was just like, damn, like, and it also sort of gave me hope because it was on a podcast of just these two guys that are our age, and it's like they're doing like it's like a video chat. So
You should
I'm
message
like,
him.
oh.
I'm gonna message him right now. Just go ahead. Go ahead. I'm messaging him.
So I definitely want to plug them. I think the podcast is called The Movie Podcast. I think it's just called The Movie Podcast. And After watching this 20-minute interview with him, in all honesty, I think he might be the perfect man for the job.
I already think he is from what I've seen. So.
Yeah. I mean, yes, honestly, yes. After watching that trailer, I definitely knew that he was the right man for the job. But after watching that interview, I think he's the best man for the job. I can't think of any other person that can tackle this movie the way he is. And one of those reasons is he said that he's a lot like Christopher Nolan in a sense that he is very in favor of practical effects over visual effects, over CGI.
Speaking of, a little bit of a digression.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Beetlejuice 2.
We got a first look at that. Yep.
Tim Burton said he's used a lot of stop motion for the second one to bring it back to practical effects.
Oh,
right?
Hell yes.
Let's fucking go!
That's actually that's a huge relief because think about all the movies he's made recently, like the Alice in Wonderland movies, the Dumbo movie, that's all CGI.
Tim Burton, let's fucking go! Anyway.
So,
all right, I've officially invited him on the podcast.
Nice. Fede, if you're listening to this, we'd love to have you on. So
he's listening for sure.
So he's very in favor. He himself even actually helped with the creature effects, and it's like he helped with the puppetry, of the creature effects and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
So, and he said he wanted to do it mostly practical because you're there. The terror is there. You're getting the real responses of these actors, and apparently.
We gotta have that kid on.
Oh my gosh, he's probably like in high school now.
No, dude, he's probably older than that. He's probably dead.
How long do you think that video was? How long ago do you think that video was?
Go ahead.
So, Isabella Merced.
Yep.
She recently, I think this was actually during a Madame Web press interview.
Gotcha. Let's go.
She said that there's a scene that everyone was watching, like right after they had filmed it. They were watching it on the iPad. And she was the only one that didn't look away because it was so nasty.
Wow.
Because she was so mesmerized by it. She was so like, that is fucking awesome.
Dude,
everyone else had to look away.
That's so fucking exciting, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And another thing that Fede Alvarez said, which I thought was just hysterical, is whenever they're filming a scene, he'll look at the boom guy because the boom guy has no idea what's going to happen. So he'll watch the boom guy, and then the boom guy will like be sitting there with the boom mic and then go, ugh, and like make a face or something. That's when Fede goes, all right, we're doing something good here.
That's really funny, actually. That's awesome.
So, speaking of Ridley Scott, now we're going back to Ridley Scott. Unless, is there anything else you wanted to say about the trailer itself, or?
I don't think so. I'm super stoked.
Yeah. Yeah. Fede Alvarez showed the rough cut of the movie to Ridley Scott and James Cameron. And apparently I gotta find a way to eliminate that from my vocabulary, but
I can't.
James Cameron was actually one of the first people that Fede went to when he started writing the script. And one of the things he asked him, which I don't remember if he gave an answer or not, but one of the first things he asked James Cameron, which is something that I've always wondered, because it's such a throwaway line in Aliens.
Yep.
Is in Aliens when they wake up, all the Marines wake up, you're getting to know the Marines, they're all eating dinner, joking around with each other, which fun fact was the last scene they filmed.
Cool.
Because they now have, all the actors have that chemistry.
Cool.
Which made that scene seem so much more natural.
Very cool.
So, yeah, no, it's great. So, there's a throwaway line where they're talking about this species of alien, and I don't remember what the alien species is, but it's literally like blink and you'll miss it type of line, you know?
Sure.
And then when they're being debriefed,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they say, Hudson says, "Is this a stand-up fight, sir, or another bug hunt?" And then Hicks follows that up with, "It's a bug hunt." So Fede, when he was talking to James Cameron, he asked him, "What did you mean by that? Are these Marines like, do is do, are they used to this sort of thing? Like, sure, they haven't been exposed to the xenomorph, but
Yeah.
you know." And I don't remember what he said or if he even did say what James Cameron's answer was, but it probably just had to do with that world building.
Yeah.
Um, and another thing that he pointed out is, because this is literally like almost the middle mark in between the first two movies, Alien and Aliens, because
Mm-hmm.
again, that's a 57-year gap in those movies. It's a 57-year gap. That's more than half a century.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Do the math, fucker.
yeah.
Do that math.
So so
So whoa.
he
I know you didn't hear that, but it was like, so. So.
so
So.
uh
Surprise,
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 motherfucker.
motherfucker.
Some fries, motherfucker. Baptized, motherfucker. Sunrise,
Anyway.
motherfucker.
Anyway. What were you saying?
He wanted it to be the technology from Alien getting older, and
Mm-hmm.
then we start to see some like technology from Aliens in like maybe like the prototype stage. You know, because
Cool.
at the end of the movie, when Kaylee Spawn's character is walking through that doorway at like the last shot of the movie, and then she turns and the alien is right there.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like she's holding some sort of prototype plasma or pulse
Yeah.
rifle.
Yeah.
You know, the pulse rifle from Aliens, which is one of the most kick-ass fictional weapons
Yeah.
ever, aside from like the lightsaber.
Yeah.
uh, so that's another thing that I you can tell that Fede Alvarez just loves this universe and he respects it.
And that's so important. Like, I mean, obviously, I know it's an industry. It is a business. It is the entertainment business, and
Hmm.
you got to make good financial decisions. But if you can get somebody who cares about the property, get somebody
Absolutely.
who get somebody who likes Star Wars, who gets Star Wars. This is why Michael Vogel made Spectacular Spider-Man, and why it's so fucking good is because he loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
If some fuck at Sony who had never read a comic book made that show, it would have been like the Drake Bell Spider-Man. Fuck that show.
Yeah.
Fuck that show, dude. And so that's what I'm saying is you need somebody who cares, and it obviously is there for the money, of course, because it is, at the end of the day, it's a job. But who cares about the property? Who cares about the outcome? Who cares about the characters? Who cares about what's happened in the past?
Hmm.
And I think it's very, very important. Which is
No, I
why I'm very excited for Dave Filoni to take over Star Wars, because
yeah.
he really loves Star Wars and gets Star Wars. You know,
Yes. Yes. I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
that's why
And,
Broen and I are gonna make an Alien movie one day.
dude, honestly, if a studio came to me and said you can make an Alien movie, do whatever you want, I'd fucking do it.
Oh, dude, Alien versus Ben 10. You joshing me? It's right there.
There we go. That's something.
That's a billion.
Because
That's $1 billion idea.
Ben would just scan the xenomorph and then turn into one.
Dude, imagine like a xenomorph. Dude, like mecha xenomorph versus xenomorph. So
Oh
sick.
gosh.
So sick.
Or like he would turn into ultimate
Yeah.
xenomorph or something. I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I do need to wrap this up because I'm going to see Ghostbusters Afterlife in exactly 1 hour.
is that out?
Yeah.
That's out? What
Today's
the
the first day,
fuck?
today's the first day it's out. I'm gonna go see it.
Bro, I need to ask Roxanne if she wants to go tonight.
Roxanne. Dude, yeah, you gotta love that song.
We might.
Anyway,
We might do that
anything
tonight.
else?
Maybe not.
Anything else? Oh, dude, that'd
Uh
be so good if you saw it tonight. That we could talk about it on the podcast.
So to wrap it up, I guess another thing he said is, and
Don't be
again this
silly.
goes.
Wrap
Hmm?
your willy.
This goes along with what we were saying about practical effects, is that they made that ship. Like the interior, that is a real set. You know, he said you could get lost on that set just like you would get lost in the actual ship.
That's so sick.
You know,
Love that.
it's amazing. So he showed the movie, he showed the rough cut to Ridley Scott,
Mm-hmm.
and he loved it. He loved it. He said one of the highlights was the dialogue. He said the dialogue was really good, which
Nice.
good, because
Exciting.
nothing is more distracting than poor
Bad
dialogue. Even if the rest of the movie is 10 out of 10, if
Yep.
you have bad dialogue, it immediately takes you out of it. You're like, oh yeah, I'm
Yep.
watching a movie.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he said the dialogue was really good. And then he also showed it to James Cameron, who also loved it.
Nice.
And he didn't say what James Cameron said about it, but he did say that the notes that James Cameron gave were different than the notes that Ridley Scott gave. Like they watched it from two different perspectives and were giving two different types of notes, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
So this is very clearly a passion project for Fede Alvarez. You can clearly see that he is the right man for the job. I truly cannot think of anyone else who could have pulled it off just from this one trailer. Now, that being said, I am not going to glaze this movie. If this movie sucks, we're going to tell you it sucks. And we're going to say it with tears in our eyes.
Yeah. I'm betting now it's going to be at least an 8 out of 10 for me.
All I'm asking, which this is not a big ask. This is not a big ask. All I'm asking is that it's
sex scene?
Yes, please.
Please.
Slow motion.
We're trying to see a xenomorph come, bro.
We're trying to see that xenocock. We got to see that xenocock. So, but all I ask, in all seriousness, all I ask is that the movie is better than all of the sequels post Aliens. I don't think it's going to be better than the first two movies, just because it'd be
hard to say better, but yeah,
it'd be so hard to make something better.
It's
than
like,
those.
yeah, the new Star Wars movie. I hope it's better than The Empire Strikes Back. It's like, well,
I don't know. Is it possible? Technically, yes, but
yeah, of course, it's gonna be tough.
And look, that's not a hard ask. Alien 3 and 4 suck. I'm not a fan of Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I know a lot of people like them. That was another thing that I want to bring up that was pissing me off lately, which you can have your opinions, fine. But people in the comments of this trailer are like, oh, I want the engineer story back. Who wants xenomorphs? And then people are replying to that comment like, this is the worst take I've ever seen.
That's
like,
stupid.
Everyone wants xenomorphs again.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Well. Speaking of Aliens, the 4K is, as of right now, sold out after like a day.
Fuck.
It's hopefully gonna get a reprint. Let's hope. Same with The Abyss. It's also sold out. But if you're into physical media, that's some physical media news for you. And those were our thoughts on the Alien Romulus trailer. What were your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. Message us on Instagram. We will always respond. And
I will try to not bring up this movie until it comes out, or maybe like the next trailer. I don't know if we'll dedicate an entire episode to the next trailer. It depends on how good it is.
It'll be a movie news, probably.
It'll be a new movie news. We'll talk about it, but maybe not dedicate an entire episode like we did today.
Yeah.
But I promise I will try not to talk about it, because I know I talk about it a lot just because I'm so excited.
I'll keep you in check. But until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, rate, and share this podcast with your friends and family on your socials to help more people find us. As always, thanks for listening. Broen, where can they find all 3 accounts they need to find?
So you can find, I need to bring it, I don't know our names like by heart.
It's hard. They're all like very similar.
Okay, I got it. You can find us on Instagram on the Flix Capacitor Pod. Find us on TikTok, Flix Cap Podcast. Find us on YouTube, Flix Capacitor Podcast. And we have a Twitter that I didn't even know about, Flix Cap Pod. I don't even know if Parker does anything on it.
I don't. I sure don't. I should, though. I really should.
I don't even have a Twitter.
It's hard.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, Bro and the Movie Maker, all across the board. Parker, where can they find you?
You can find me at Parker McNerney, McNerney, and Blu-ray Daddy, depending on if you like physical media and movies and stuff. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you like movies. And we'll see you next week with a brand new episode of the Flix Capacitor podcast. And
I love you. Bye.